Hello friends, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to discuss 6 amazing numericals on electromagnetic induction, and they will be based on similar type of phenomenon. That is, we are going to discuss about the cylindrical systems. Okay, we are going to discuss about the cylindrical systems and how they behave when we keep them in a constant magnetic field, or they are rotated and something like that. Whatever will happen, we'll see that here. Okay, so here we are going to discuss the problems from taken from Pathfinder. It consists in this video itself there will be 6 questions discussed. First of all, I am going to discuss a general situation. So here it is given that a long cylinder of radius a carrying uniform surface charge rotates about its axis with angular velocity omega. Now we have to find the magnetic energy per unit length if the linear charge density is given. Okay, so what is the linear charge density? First of all, let me tell you that what is the linear charge density. Basically, you have to check the charge density, that is the charge per unit length, that is like this the charge present on the cross section, linear charge density. Okay, now once you get the charge like that, you can just perform the given things. Okay, so here what I do, I will prove this by using a concept of solid angle. Okay, so here you see the figure. I am considering a point P which is inside at any location inside a cylinder. It can be at any point, any general point inside a cylinder, and there by using Biot's law, since it is rotating, the this part of the cylinder would tend to will have a velocity v equal to r omega inside the plane. So the positive charge that is present on this elementary ring of the cylinder would tend to move inside. So the direction of the movement of positive charge will give us the current. So the current is inside the plane as shown in the figure. So here the current is inside the plane, and writing the magnitude of that current, we can just do it by we can just write the magnetic field using Biot-Savart law. The direction would be somewhat, I just consider it to be theta and r. Okay, now here I can write at this surface, this small surface that is being formed here, by the concept of solid angle, we can say that ds cos theta by r square is the magnetic field, or the solid angle. The sum of the solid angle is 4 pi. So you'll get b perpendicular or the field as mu naught I. Okay, all the db sine theta components would get cancelled as they move around a circle. Db sine theta, db sine theta, db sine theta, db sine theta, they all get cancelled because there always an opposite vector present. So the db sine theta component gets cancelled, and only the db cos theta components remain, which is directed along the axis or the sense of the rotation of the cylinder. Okay, now here I can say that this will be mu naught I, and what is I here? I is the current per unit length. Now this is just like a solenoid. Mu naught Ni is the field inside a solenoid, and the situation is same like a solenoid. Okay, so the current per unit length is a lambda is given, and the time is 2 pi by omega. So we'll post it here and we'll get lambda omega by 2 pi as the current. So once we multiply it by mu naught, I'll get the value of field. And I know for any point outside the cylinder, the solid angle would be 0. So we can write that the field would be 0. Here is the diagram of how the field would look. It would be present everywhere inside the cylindrical region. Okay, now here first of all, this is the question taken from Pathfinder. It is a build your understanding question number 2 from magnetic effect of electric current. Similar type of problem, but here we will take the medium as mu r. Similar situation, I have done the proof similar in similar type of proof here. Okay, so here we have to say that the current per unit length is charge per unit length upon time. So here the charge per unit length Q by L can be taken as 2 pi r sigma. Okay, so the current, how the current is running? Current is running like this. Okay, so the current per unit length would be given as lambda, or whatever the current per unit length value is. So here from using the sigma is equal to Q by 2 pi RL, the total charge that would be present on the cylinder can be written as or because it is a non-conducting cylinder, the charge would reside on the surface of the cylinder or the rod, whatever it is. Okay, similar type of method, the proof is similar as above, but slightly different medium. Okay, so here I can write sigma in the terms of sigma. the charge parent length, and just putting the value I'll get mu naught mu r sigma omega r. If this was a normal conducting rod, it would be mu naught sigma omega r. Okay, only mu naught sigma omega r. So on similar situation, this question is based, so this is build your understanding question number 3. It's a very easy problem actually. You need to find the field as a function of r. So here is the solution. Here you can say that as r varies, the distance from the axis varies. In different regions there would be different field present. This can be proved applying the above concepts. So here in this region, the magnetic field due to both omega 1 and omega 2 would be present. In this region there would be field only due to omega 2, and this region there would be no field. That is written here. Okay, now if I want to write the pressure on the inner cylinder, it can be written as b1 plus b2 square. The field in that region is squared by 2 mu naught, and the field in this region is squared by 2 mu naught. Okay, so here you can get the value of both the parts of the problem. I have just solved it here. Okay, now let us come to the next part. So this is an MCQ. I have just not mentioned the question here. You just search for the question. In that question it was given that wooden cylinder is being rotated with a varying omega k. So we need to find about the induced electric field and the induced magnetic field. So induced electric field and magnetic field, see, since omega is being like that, this would be the sense of the field. So an electric field would be induced opposite to the sense of field, opposite to the sense of field. So here an electric field is produced opposite to the sense of field, and from above analysis we have already that mu naught mu r sigma omega r would be the magnetic field inside such a dielectric medium. Okay, now here it is a constant mu naught sigma omega k r. Because omega is given as kt, we can just put the value of omega and we get b as a linear function of time. Since it's a linear function, the differentiation of it would be a constant, that is already known. So we can easily say that e would be constant but not e would be constant but non-uniform. Why is non-uniform? Non-uniform because at different distance from the axis there would be different value of electric field. Okay, now the magnetic field is constant but not uniform. Is uniform but not constant. Constant means we have to check whether it is a function of time, and uniform means whether it is a function of the radial distance or a function of position. Okay, the next part says that this is a very amazing problem actually, and it needs a separate video, but I am going to consider it in the similar video. So here it is said that there is a cylinder where a coaxially placed ring is just put inside the cylinder, and the outer cylinder is rotated with a velocity of omega naught. What would be the maximum angular velocity of the ring? So here is the solution. It is my method. You can also visit Akash sir channel for seeing the second method of the problem. Okay, now here I am just doing what, since omega is like that, field would be in the sense of omega, so field would be directed along the omega vector. So v could be written as, I have just considered it to be a function of time, omega as a function of time, because I was getting a feel that omega would suddenly decrease. Okay, so I will just consider to be along the direction of rotation. Since field is along this direction, electric field will be opposite to that direction. So an electric field would be produced as a function of r, and that would be varying with the distance from the axis. So since this ring has a radius r, we will find the electric field around the ring, and by using this basic Faraday law we can find the electric field. E into 2 pi r is minus pi r square dv by dt. So A would be equal to r by 2 mu naught sigma r d omega by dt, because I have taken omega as a function of time. Now once I write the torque on this type of ring, elementary torque, and I integrate that, I will get QER. Now torque can be written as I alpha ring, and alpha of ring can be written as d omega dash by dt, where omega dash is the varying angular velocity of the ring. Okay, putting all the values I get this relation, and once I put the value of inertia of the ring about the center of mass or the central axis, and putting all other values, I get this relation. So here integrating d omega dash from 0 to omega dash, where omega dash is the maximum value of omega. Why I am taking this as maximum value? Because omega naught from initial it is going to 0, so the value of omega dash could be written as mu naught sigma qr omega naught by 2m. Please tell me in the comment section whether we can apply some sort of energy conservation. Okay, now next part, this is also a very amazing problem. Okay, this also needs a separate video, but I will be considering it in the similar same video. So here this video is also discussed on Ramesh sir channel, but here the method is slightly different, or slightly more elaborate method I would discuss here. So here you know that when the cylinder will start rotating in the sense of alpha, there would be a field, magnetic field would be produced. So the electric field would be opposite in the sense to the magnetic field, since it would tend to decrease the increasing field. So here I take omega as a function of time, and just I put the value of B as B naught sigma omega t r. Okay, now a small amount of force would be produced, since this situation is shown here. A small amount of force would be produced here on the cylinder. Taking elementary parts of the cylinder, I can write dqa dqa, and the integral of that would be qe. Okay, now the value of dq can be written as sigma da, or whatever elementary you want to take. Similarly, it would come to be qe. The total amount of charge on the cylinder is given as sigma into 2 pi rl. The length of the cylinder is already given. So this dqe will produce a torque which will oppose alpha, and tension would produce a torque that would support alpha. So here I will write the net force equation and net torque equation, and I just want the value of electric field. For that I need to differentiate the flux. So here the value of electric field could be calculated from this method. Okay, you can just visit it, and mg minus t would be equal to ma. So t is equal to mg mr alpha. This is the NLM equation. This is the torque equation. Combining these both equations, here we can write, since we know that q is equal to sigma into 2 pi rl, and we've been using that for the value of q. Once you put it here, you will get the value of acceleration as r alpha, and this would be similar to the given situation. Now here, this is also a good question. These are also separate video, but I will be discussing it here. What would happen actually is, you can just consider that this cylinder, it has been given that a uniform magnetic field of induction B naught exists everywhere in a long hollow cylinder. So since there is a field that is pointed outside the plane, there would be some current generated, and since this field would decrease with time of the rotations of rotation, you can just calculate it by the sense of rotation would be somewhat like this. Since this is decreasing, the field would be decreasing, so the electric field would try to support it. So electric field would also be produced in the same sense. Now since electric field is in this sense, current would be produced in the same sense. Current would be produced in the same sense, so the current will be a function of time. It would decay as a function of time, e to the power minus something t kt, e to the power minus kt, something like that. And so the field would also be a function of time and would decaying as a exponential function, e to the power minus kt type of function. Okay, so in this problem we need to find that only. Okay, now you can visit Akash sir channel for the second method of this problem. I am been discussing it with the another method and other type of diagrams. So here let us see the situation. So here what I said is the sense of B would be like that. So the sense of E would also be like that, because it will support the decaying electric field. Now once it would support the decaying electric field, we can write the magnitude of the current per unit length as EMF divided by resistance by length of the cylinder into mu naught. Now d phi by dt, since the current is passing like that, passing normal to a surface, a rectangular surface, I can write the area of the rectangular surface as, because the thickness is d and the length is 2 pi r, so 2 pi r d would be the LD would be the, because length is given L and D, LD would be the area rho, and dx, the integration of dx would be 2 pi r. Once putting all the values of resistance and field and d phi by dt, the value of d phi by dt would be uh, area into dv by dt. Okay, now putting the value of resistance and everything else, I'll get mu naught rd by 2 rho dv by dt. Integrating the function, I'll get the value of b as a function of time. I hope you like the video, and in 14 minutes I've been discussing 6 problems. Thanks.